Okay, greetings and welcome to another Grenfell MediaWatch update. Today's edition I want to call the missing interim. And I want to start by talking about how over the last few days I had a feeling that something was supposed to happen in Easter, something was supposed to happen in April, something important. Now I know my Earth Day was coming, and thank you all of you who gave me some wonderful well wishes and blessings, but that wasn't it. What was the thing that was missing? And then it hit me. 8 months ago, Morbic, in terms of reference. So Morbic promised this interim report, and the only thing that was supposed to derail it was if there was an issue with the forensic investigation that kind of slowed it down. And of course, we've not heard anything about that. So Easter's gone. We're in April, halfway through, but we still have no interim report. I would regard this as a breach of the terms of reference myself, but hey. But we did have something interesting take its place. Now, the Evening Standard sourced a report from the Metropolitan Police, and this report was a forensic report by one of these companies that look into fire safetiness, and they actually came up with a 210-page document that reveals that well, if the cladding wasn't actually placed on Grenfell Towers in the first place, nobody would have died. They're focusing on, well, I'm talking about even the Independent are focusing on things like saying window panes are 25 millimeters out of place instead of being 50 millimeters out of place. And of course, all these things are important because that's what led to the spread of fire. But it seems like there's an attempt to kind of talk about shoddy workmanship. The idea that those people who were involved in actually installing the equipment should be to blame. And as much as, of course, people who do shoddy work should be held to account, I don't think we should lose focus of the fact that they're not the ones who are responsible for the massacre. That those who are responsible are the people who authorise the cladding in the first place and decide to do it on the cheap. Those who are responsible are those who knew that using the cheaper cladding was flammable. Anyway, as I said, it's the middle of April, we're coming up to May, and the elections are coming up. One thing that was revealed last week was when Tory politicians were caught actually talking about a campaign or a strategy to deal with people who actually are still affected by the Grenfell massacre, people who still felt that justice was due. And their spin on the topic is to say that those people still living in temporary accommodation are actually just simply milking the system. We've got to be very careful about underestimating the wickedness that these people will get up to. Let's be clear, where do we stand right now? 141 out of 211 households are still in temporary accommodation. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a joke or some kind of game. This is the real facts, 10 months on afterwards. So where is the media focus? Well, we know that Kensington and Chelsea Council was fined £120,000 for releasing the names of owners of empty property in the borough. Now, of course, taxpayers are going to pay that £120,000 fine. There's been another story that's been announced about some top museums who are going to preserve the tributes that people made for the Grenfell victims. And all I'd suggest, if one of them is the V&A, that the community who really puts checks in place to make sure that they own everything that they take and that they don't use it for commercial gain. V&A, as we know, are currently embroiled in a disgusting issue where they refuse to send back plundered artifacts and human remains to the countries who want their ancestors back and their belongings. Let's hope maybe 50, 100 years from now, we don't have that same situation happen with the Grenfell families trying to get back some of the artifacts of their loved ones because they're stuck in some vault in a museum. And so I'm going to close today and really just touch upon the silent walk that took place on Saturday And it was a beautiful affair, fantastic turnout, and it was launched with the riders for Grenfell, or the bikers for Grenfell, who actually led the proceedings, detoured off to Parliament, and then came back for the ending. And as usual, it's a very powerful, spiritually moving event. I was blessed and honoured to be there, walking amongst the families and supporters. There's talk about next month the walk taking place near Parliament. I'm hoping that happens on the 14th as well, when the debate's supposed to be taking place. So that while the politicians are in their cosy chambers, they know that outside there are thousands of us demanding justice. This is going to be a short one. You can hear me, I've got the sniffles. Yeah, I seem to be going from one flu to another, one cold to another. But the fight continues. So I'm going to close on this wonderful spring evening and say, may the ancestors continue to guide and protect us as ever. Ashe.